Let's just do one more reading, page 354. Nagarjuna's Six Perfections. The perfection of dhyana meditation. It's through being neither mentally distracted nor indulging of enjoyment that one should perfect dhyana paramita. The Dharma of the Bodhisattva takes the spiritual liberation of all beings as the work to be done. Why then does he sit at leisure in forests and marshes or by still inside the mountains, solely benefiting himself, casting aside and forsaking beings? Although the Bodhisattva may be physically apart from beings, still his mind never forsakes him. Residing in a quiet location, he strives to develop the meditative absorptions and thus obtain the action wisdom. This is in order to eventually deliver everyone to liberation. This is analogous to when one takes medicine to tend to the body and as expedient sets aside household responsibilities. When one's energy and strength return to their normally healthful state, then one takes up one's work again just as before. The Bodhisattva's indulgence in stillness is just like this. He employs the power of dhyana absorption to ingest the medicine of wisdom and then gains the power of the superknowledge. He then returns to be among beings, becoming perhaps a father, mother, wife, or a son, perhaps a master, student, or lineage elder, perhaps a god, perhaps a human, or down even to become an animal. He employs all manner of speech and skillful means to instruct and lead. Furthermore, the Bodhisattva practice giving observes of moral precepts and patience. These three endeavors are as known as the gateways to meritorious qualities. During the course of an incalculable number of lifetimes, he then becomes Heavenly King, a sacred Devra, a will-turning sage king, the king of Sambhutpa. He constantly makes gift to beings of the seven precious things, clothing, and objects of five desires. In the present life and the future lives, he ensures that they are abundantly available. And now it says in the scripture, the will-turning sage king teaches the 10 good deeds to the people. In future lives, they are reborn in the heavens. In life after life, he works for the benefit of beings and causes them to experience bliss. The bliss, however, is impermanent, and so they come back yet again and are forced to undergo suffering. Because of this, the Bodhisattva generates thoughts imbued with the great compassion and wishes them to benefit the beings with constant bliss of nirvana. This constant bliss of nirvana is born of actual wisdom. Actual wisdom is born of single mind, dhyana absorption. This is analogous to a burning lantern. Although the lantern is capable of providing illumination, it cannot be useful in a stiff breeze. However, if one places it in a closed room, its usefulness then becomes completely manifest. Wisdom in the context of scattered mind is just like this. Although one may possess wisdom without the still room of dhyana absorption, its usefulness is incomplete. If one gains dhyana absorption, a genuine wisdom comes forth. It is on this account that even though he is apart from beings and far away in a quiet place, the Bodhisattva nonetheless is striving to gain dhyana absorption. It is by virtue of purity in dhyana absorption that his wisdom becomes pure as well. This is analogous to an oil lamp because it is clean, its brightness is also immaculate. Because of this, one who wishes to gain pure wisdom cultivates dhyana absorption. Furthermore, even when one is merely striving at worldly endeavors close at hand, if he is unable to focus his mind in such endeavors, will not be successful. How much the more? So would this be the case where one wishes to realize the extremely profound path of the Buddha when failing to avail himself of dhyana absorption? Dhyana absorption refers to the focusing of thought which has become chaotic. Chaotic thoughts float lightly about even more readily than goose down. They gallop along and scatter ceaselessly, moving faster than swift wind. Their incontrollability and unstoppability are more extreme than the of a monkey's. The suddenness of their momentary appearance and disappearance exceeds that of lightning bolts. Its characteristics are thought to be unrestrictable and unstoppable like these. If one does wish to bring it under control, then in the absence of dhyana, one will be unable to achieve absorption. This is as stated in a verse. Dhyana is treasury for the retribution of wisdom, and the field of merit qualities for qualities which are worthy. Dhyana serves as the waters which are pure. It is able to wash away the dust of desires. Dhyana is the armor made of Vajra. It is able to ward off the arrows of afflictions. Although one's not yet reached nirvana without the residue, a share in nirvana nonetheless has been attained. One succeeds in gaining the Vajra samadhis, smashing then and shattering the mountain of the feathers. One attains the power of 6 superknowledges, and is able to deliver a number of people beyond count. Dust raised by tumult may obscure the sky and sun, yet a heavy rain may soak it all away. The winds of ideation and liberation scatter the mind, nonetheless dhyana absorption is able to extinguish them. Furthermore, dhyana absorption is difficult to attain. Only if the practitioner single-mindedly and exclusively strives without stint will he attain it. Even the gods and spirits and rishis are unable to attain it. How much the less lazy-minded ordinary fellows. When the Buddha was sitting dhyana beneath the Nyagodrodra tree, and the 3 daughters of the king of the Mara set forth a question in verse saying, Sitting alone amongst the forest trees, the sixfold faculty is always still and quiet. It seems as if you've lost a precious juice, yet are free of pain from suffering, wrath by anguish. In all the world, your visage has no peer, and yet you all sit with your eyes closed. The thoughts of each of us possess a doubt. What do you seek by dwelling in this place? At that time, the Bhagavan replied with a verse, as I have found the flavor of nirvana, I don't find pleasure dwell in tainted love. Within it all the thieves have been expelled, your father too, destroyed in self-retreat. I have discovered the flavor of sweet dew ambrosia. In peace and bliss I sit within the forest, as for the beings immersed in its foul affections. For all their sakes I raise compassionate thoughts. At this time the three daughters felt ashamed and said to themselves, this man has no same desire and cannot be moved. They then disappeared and showed themselves no more. So that's it, just a small reading. Page 356, Nagarjuna, on the six reflections.